What an extraordinary night at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu. Barcelona winning El Clasico by 4-0 against Real Madrid. A night that not many Barcelona fans will ever forget. 2 goals from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Ronald Araujo and Ferran Torres also getting on the score sheet. A superb result for Xavi Hernandez's men in the manager's first La Liga Clasico. Joining me in the studio to reflect on the game, as we said, Guillaume Balaguer and Terry Gibson joining us in the studio today. Guys, I'm not sure where to start. This was quite an extraordinary performance from Barcelona, but it was really poor from Real Madrid.
Yeah, extraordinary in both camps, to be honest. I understand from the Real Madrid point of view that if you don't have Benzema, you have to adjust a lot of things. But it seems to me that every decision that Ancelotti took to replace Benzema was wrong. And we're going to see a lot of examples of that when we analyze it more in detail. And for Barcelona, don't just look at the goals, and there could have been 8. There could have been 8. Don't just look at the goals. What we're seeing right now is a team that thinks like one, with players in their best version, and that's not by chance. It has to do with training, it has to do with the decisions of Xavi, and that right now they declare to the world, we are back. We can compete for absolutely everything. And they are so optimistic, Laporta and company, and maybe even Xavi, that we may even hear that they have a chance this season. You know, the beat Rayo is 9 points. The calendar of Real Madrid is difficult. In any case, certainly, this is official now. Barcelona are definitely back.
Real Madrid still have to go to Sevilla, still have to go to Atletico Madrid as well. Terry, you and I, we were watching the game in the studio here, and at times, you looked absolutely baffled as to how Real Madrid were defending, or just not defending.
Yeah, there were certain instances in the game that they had a decent start. It was pretty even. But as the first half wore on, Barcelona became dominant and really authoritative. Considering the troubles they've had this season and they're playing away from home, they completely took control of the game. And we'll look at it deeper as we go along and analyse the game. The problem with Benzema missing meant that Ancelotti could have gone for a simple choice. He could have replaced him with another centre-forward and kept the rest of the team, the base of the team, the same. But he didn't. He tried to do something different. And then every decision he made after that made it worse. To the extent it was only 2-0 at half-time, but the changes he made at half-time meant that Barcelona scored in the second minute of the second half, and they'd already missed a sitter just before that. So in the first 2 minutes of the second period of the game, there was 2 golden chances where there was no Real Madrid defenders about. So that was the definition tonight. We often wonder the impact a manager can have on a game. We know he can coach during the week, he can pick the team, he can organise things, and we often wonder what is the definition of a manager having a bad game, and that was a bad game for Ancelotti. And he's going to have 2 weeks to stew over it. It's a great position in La Liga still. He is still a sensational coach, and he'll learn from this mistake and he'll move on. But it was a poor night at the office, Carlo Ancelotti.
It really, really was. Let's head to the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu and speak to our stadium team. Jamie Easton is there alongside Xavi Ferrer and Aitor Karanka to reflect, Jamie, on what was quite an extraordinary night. What was it like being there?
It was an extraordinary night here at the Santiago Bernabeu, especially for Barcelona. Karanka is still shocked after what has happened to the Bernabeu. I saw Xavi Ferrer coming down the stairs dancing nearly. But Aitor, how can you explain what happened today? Because there cannot be one only explanation, which is Benzema was missing. Something else has happened today to Real Madrid.
Yeah, we were speaking about the Ancelotti's decision about Valverde, and I said that with Valverde, Real Madrid could press higher on the pitch, could have kept the ball. But the surprise was when Modric and Kroos were playing as a false 9. So the times, and it was easy for Barcelona players to pass that line. It was a nightmare for Casemiro, for example, because he was completely lost. And as you said, to change a lot of things just because Benzema wasn't on the game, I think it wasn't the right decision. And Barcelona was showing all the game that they were really confident with the ball, really confident without the ball, and Real Madrid looked the opposite.
Let's take a look at the images of the game, the most important moments of what happened here at the Santiago Bernabeu. And meanwhile, we'll see those images. We'll comment everything that happened with Aitor and with Xavi Ferrer, because Xavi, Nobody expected this to happen today.
No, nobody. And we all expected, as Aitor said, someone replacing Benzema, and that's it. And Real Madrid playing the same shape that they feel very, very comfortable. And even Vinicius, who had to face Araujo, who is not really a fullback, had a bad night. So I think even for us, when we were on the pitch, Jamie, we thought at times that they were playing in a diamond. Then we realized that they were playing in a square in midfield with two players pressing the centre-backs of Barcelona, who were Modric and Kroos, and then Casemiro just staying at the back completely alone. Well, it was a disaster in terms of tactics for Real Madrid, and Barcelona realized about that, and mainly the midfielders of Barcelona, they started to receive balls in between the lines and to feed Dembélé, to feed Ferran, as we see here. What a fantastic chance. So it was all about Barcelona, because Real Madrid wanted to press. You see Kroos and Modric, they wanted to press forward, but the gaps were so big and they had an extra man. This is the goal, fantastic cross from Dembélé, good Aubameyang again in the finishing, and again it was all about Barcelona.
It was all about Barcelona, I thought. We saw one clear chance from Real Madrid, one clear chance, because that was the only chance.
Yeah, at the beginning of the game we were saying that Real Madrid had started the game well, because they had a chance or two chances, but from that moment they disappeared. They started to have a lot of
look at the
problems.
spaces, Aitor.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
But it's been all the game, so it has been a few times. It's been all the game.
And we've seen Thibaut Courtois saving already a couple of very clear chances. It's really difficult to understand how Real Madrid lost 4-0 and still the hero was their goalkeeper.
I think Xavi obviously is really pleased with the score, but I think he was going to the changing room, and he will be on the plane for sure, thinking that they could have beat Real Madrid 5 or 6 or even 7, because they've had a lot of chances to score even more goals.
One of the men of the match, Araujo.
Araujo was fantastic in defense. He struggled in the last 10-15 minutes. Obviously, he's not a fullback, but he's possibly the best finisher in set pieces for Barcelona.
You had a crystal ball, Xavi. You said,
no.
Take a look at Araujo, and boom, 5 seconds later he scores.
No, because I saw him scoring a lot of goals for Barcelona B, also in set plays. So it was fantastic. This is the beginning of the second half. Real Madrid changing the system to 3 centre-backs, and then Ferran missing this one. But 2 minutes later he scored the goal, and then again Ancelotti changed the system. So it was a nightmare. It was Casemiro centre back, Alaba left back, Nacho right back. So he changed everything 2 or 3 times, and that was terrible for Real Madrid. This is the goal.
He didn't miss that one. I thought, could you understand so many changes? He started the second half with 3 at the back, and then he realized, well, a goal avalanche can arrive. Let's go back to forward behind. So many changes.
Yeah, just for one player. So it's unbelievable, because we were speaking during the game, and then when the Real Madrid went to the changing room, and we thought that, and we said that they had to change something, but the surprise was that the Ancelotti changed it to something that they never played. So it was even worse.
This is very strange, Aitor. You spent 15 minutes at the half-time to talk to players, to change the system to 3 centre-backs, try to improve things. All of a sudden you concede 2 chances, and is that enough to change the system again?
That goal was a bit weird, because I saw all the Real Madrid players protesting because the linesman pulled the flag up so quick. Then they say some of them stopped defending in that moment. That was strange.
Yeah, it was strange, because the first thing is that normally now this year the linesman, all of them are waiting when the ball is finishing. So, but again, it's the first rule when you're a player. The game finishes when the referee blows his whistle. Till that moment, you have to keep working.
Look how many chances Barcelona had. This is Aubameyang, but again the same, just running in the back of the defense, and the team. Real Madrid very straight, a lot of spaces, and the defenders really look at the 2 centre backs. This is 1 in 1 line. Then Casemiro is 5 yards forward. So I thought it's a centre back. So as a centre back, you have to keep the same distance between them, the same line. So it was all chaotic in defense for Real Madrid.
The last 15-20 minutes, Barcelona, it seemed like they said, okay, it's enough.
If they had been more ambitious, they would have scored more goals for sure, because Real Madrid was completely under problems, and there were times on the pitch that they were 5 players defending, another 5 players attacking, so the team was even broken on the pitch.
Well, a brilliant performance by Barcelona. Let's hear one of the big protagonists of the game, Araujo. This is what he said after the match.
Buenas noches, la verdad que muy feliz.
Well, we're obviously very pleased with the result. We played a very good game. We dominated the match from start to finish. That's why we're very happy, because we did what we were working to do in the week. And we're very happy to help the team. And the victory is very important. You must be pleased with the fact that you've reverted the situation around after the clásicos that you had lost last time out, and today you were able to win comfortably.
Nosotros sabíamos que si hacíamos lo que venimos haciendo.
Well, we knew that if we played the game we were playing, we would have been able to play the game we wanted.
Confiamos en eso.
We believe in the manager and what we had to do.
Salió todo bien. Encontramos los goles.
I think we started the game well.
Como estos son muy duros y encontrar goles.
We know that it's always going to be tough to score a goal here, but we're pleased that we were able to do it, and we showed a good attitude as a team. Since Xavi's arrival, we can clearly see an improvement from the team, and really much of a bigger threat going forward as well. But this is the team that Xavi wants, doesn't he? Yes, I think so. This is what happens when you play for a big team. We needed to win this game, and we know that we are back to our best, but we have to keep moving on step by step. Winning this game gives us a lot of confidence, but we still have a lot to do. So we want to obviously finish in the top 4, but we're very pleased with this result today.
What a superb performance by Araujo. Probably the biggest surprise today when he started playing as right back, but he proved Xavi was right.
We expected Alves to play in that position because Hernandez was not available. But the truth is, if we think about defenders that really defend, strong, pacey, solid, obviously Araujo is more solid and better defender than Dani Alves at that stage. And he went for Araujo. I didn't expect to see Araujo because I expected to see him as centre back. I think he was needed as a centre back, but he decided to play him as a full back, and he was fantastic. I think he had a game of 8 or 9 out of 10. He was extraordinary, except the 15 last minutes we really struggled in terms of physicality. But you know what you can count on Araujo. He's going to give 100%. It's not the paces, but he's always anticipating, putting his body, just playing with his advantages in defense. And in attack, he didn't complicate at all. He didn't see the pass, he just kicked it long. So, well, a good game. The main objective it was to stop Vinicius, and he did. So, great game.
And you said you were expecting him as a centre-back. Nearly everybody was expecting him as centre-back, but Xavi decided to put Eric Garcia together with Gerard Piqué. And I saw Xavi Hernandez congratulating Eric Garcia quite a few times from the sideline because he knew how to start the plays, and probably that's the reason why he started.
Yes, and I think Eric Garcia was needing one game like this, because especially he had a lot of critics, and to have a game like this for him is good, and this is the things that the coaches we know, that when a player is not really well, the first thing that he needs is always to know that the coach is helping you, the coach is always encouraging you. But it's true that I think Vinicius helped a lot to Araujo to be one of the best players of the game.
Eric Garcia hasn't been tested in the whole game.
No. I think Simon mentioned once or twice Mariano in the second half. The first half, even without a 9-player position. So it's been, I think, no one of them were expecting a game like this in Bernabeu tonight.
So it was a right decision made by Xavi Hernandez to start with Araujo as right back, Eric Garcia as the centre back. Let's listen precisely to the Barcelona manager.
Pues muy feliz.
We're obviously very pleased with this result because we were much better than Real Madrid today. We played almost as the home team in their ground. We played very well. They've been playing very well this season themselves, but we created many, many chances, had a lot of possession. We knew how to attack. We were able to find the empty man, but we had a spectacular game, I think. I think they attacked in the final 20-25 minutes, and that was normal. They were 4-0 down, but I'm very pleased. This is a day to enjoy. And I'm not only manager of Barca, I am a Barca fan, and this is a great result for us. We have to enjoy it, and the fans as well, because it's not easy, obviously, to do what we did today. You must be pleased that your game plan really went the way you wanted to today, and you were really much the better team today. Well, it's what we try to do in every game. We know how we want to play. We know that we have to win the ball back high up the pitch as quickly as possible, make sure that everyone can work hard. But once we were 4-0 up, the players were still running to get the ball back, and that's what almost makes me emotional. I was very pleased with it. We really should enjoy this day today. What more were you asking from your players? Because you were also angry at some moments in the game. Well, today we won 4-0, but in other moments we'll make mistakes like we did today when it's 0-0 or 1-0 down, and we have to try and react when we need to win the ball back. So I was frustrated that at times we still didn't do it when we took maybe our foot off the gas. But I think we could have easily scored a fifth or a sixth today, and not just for the result, but I think our play deserved probably a few more goals, and we didn't take our chances. What does it mean for your confidence for yourself and the team for these final games of the season? Well, it means 3 points at the moment, because we also changed our negative dynamic of losing the last few clasicos. We proved today that we can compete and we can play against the best sides in the world. I don't know if we can win the title, but we're definitely higher up the table now, and we can't rule out anything. I've said this on many occasions. Maybe we're a bit too late to the fight, but this is a very, very big win for us. Do you think that this game was almost your biggest exam to say that Barcelona are back today? Because this was the day to say that Barcelona are back, wasn't it? Yes, maybe, because we competed well in the Super Cup. I think I said that was a good game. We could have won, but today I think we could have done even more. We played very well against a good Real Madrid side in their ground, and I'm very proud of my team. I'm very satisfied, but we have to keep working hard at the maximum level and with humility as well. This is a clasico, and this can only help us going forward, but we have to keep moving forward because there's still a lot to do.
After listening carefully to Xavi Hernandez and looking at his body language, do you feel like he regrets not having taken advantage of a historic opportunity of achieving a historic result here at the Santiago Bernabeu?
Yeah, of course, because it's never easy to play here at the Bernabeu. And today, because all the circumstances, because all the shape of Real Madrid, all this chaos in midfield, Barcelona had, well, a lot of opportunities. And Guillem said that possibly they could have scored 8-9 goals. So they could regret. Well, I don't think so, because the game has been very good, except the last 15-20 minutes when he said that Barcelona just take the foot off the gas.
And he was upset because of that.
He was upset, and they lost a lot of balls that in a period where they should normally not lose it. But apart from that, I think the 70-75 minutes have been fantastic. So yeah, it was a big opportunity to score 6-7 goals, but I think they should be more than happy.
Aitor, Xavi mentioned it. So big spaces in the midfield for Barcelona players. They were doing what they wanted to do. All the Real Madrid players were opening their arms, not understanding what was going on. How can you explain what happened in the midfield today?
I think the biggest explanation is that Modric and Kroos were leaving their positions to try to press their central defenders, and when you are leaving your position playing against Barcelona in a Barcelona full of confidence, full of quality players now, and then you can't stop that building up from the central defenders. Casemiro was completely lost. The poor Valverde was running behind the players behind him, but it was just one pass from the right back, and then the following pass to the central defender, left back. Then in the following pass, they were finding the player behind the midfielders.
So Real Madrid players were completely lost, and that's because Carlo Ancelotti didn't get things right today. Let's listen from the Real Madrid manager after this heavy defeat at home against Barcelona.
I think they played better than us. They started the game better than us. And from there, once they scored, and they scored their second, it was...
One of the things I really like from Carlo Ancelotti is that he's always completely honest. He doesn't want excuses. He ended that interview saying, it's my fault, I tried things, I wasn't making the right decisions.
And it is
his fault.
Because when you're a coach, you have to take decisions, but it's true that Carlo is always trying to keep that atmosphere calm. It's true that at the end of the day, the table today is 12 points. Madrid above Barcelona. They are in Champions League, so it's true that they have to learn. And I hope that no more days without Karim on the pitch. But I think for sure they will learn that if Karim is not on the pitch, they can do the same again.
We'll see if they learn the lesson from today. Phil, I think you have some questions here for Xavi and Aitor.
Yeah, well, we're listening attentively here in the studio. Both Terry and Guillem have some questions that they'd like to ask. Guillem, what would you like to ask?
Well, I'd like to know from either of you that quite clearly Barcelona played like one, thought like one, had a clear idea of what they had to do, and found solutions all the time. But I wonder if you feel that they were helped by a very disorganized pressure high that Madrid trying to surprise Barcelona perhaps, but it was so disorganized that there was a lot of gaps. Did you notice that from the beginning, and did you see any solutions that Ancelotti proposed?
Yeah, completely, Guillem. I think you spot it on. Barcelona played a very good game, but normally in normal circumstances against a normal Real Madrid, very well organized and playing their shape, it would have been more difficult for Barca to find those spaces and players running in behind. So the fact that Real Madrid just basically played with a square in midfield and very separated, the lines very apart from one to the other, that created a lot of spaces, and that was much better for Barcelona. If you leave these spaces to Barcelona, obviously they're going to kill you. But yeah, I think it was because Barcelona played well. They understood the game better than Real Madrid, but the truth is that Real Madrid just kind of made them a favor by playing like that.
Before we go, one question I'd like to ask to Aitor. Aitor, you know what Real Madrid is like. You know how demanding the fans and the club is. This result, it's such a bad result that despite them being how many points clear at the top of the table, do you think it could have any effect on the rest of the season?
I don't think so. And now with that gap on the table, Ancelotti can change rotations or whatever he wants, because I think they've done really well during this season. They are still in Champions League, so enough points to keep calm on the table. So I think the message is the message of Ancelotti to keep going, to keep knowing that they've done they are doing a really good season. But it's true that it's really painful that you have lost against Barcelona in Bernabeu.
Guys, thank you very much. We're going to leave it there. We're going to close the connection with our stadium team and say thank you very much, and go and enjoy the Madrid evening.